Now let us talk about ACLs at directory level. It is very important to understand ACLs at directory level than files with respect to HDFS. So here I am switching to user Cloudera, using which we are actually driving the demonstrations with respect to ACLs. Here I am trying to create a directory by name user Cloudera ACLs demo. Once the directory is created, we can run hadoop fs-get facl to get the ACL details on this new directory. It is almost the same as hadoop fs-ls output. You will get who the owner is, who the group is, and what the permissions the owner have, what the permissions the group have, and others have. So owner have read, write, and execute permissions, group have read and execute permissions, and others have read and execute permissions. Now, if you want to give access to ITversity but not to demo, you cannot just use chmod and then 757 because both ITversity and demo belong to the others, and then give the path to it. It will give access to all the users that are there on this server, and giving complete permissions to every user on a server is very risky. It might even cost your job. So beware about the side effect of this. Never try to give 757 or 777 permissions on a server, especially on production. Now, if I exit from Cloudera, both user ITversity as well as demo will be able to create files in this directory called ACLs demo because 757 permissions are given. You can actually say hadoop fs-mkdir user Cloudera ACLs demo and then testing ITversity. So I'm trying to create a directory called testing underscore ITversity under user Cloudera ACLs demo as ITversity. Similarly, I want to switch to demo and run the same command with a different name, demo, and both the users are able to create directories under this, which is not good. We just want to give access to ITversity but not demo. So let me exit from here and then go to Cloudera, and then first let us remove all these directories which are created before we set ACLs. Let me see if I have deleted ACLs demo itself. I should have mentioned star here. If I would have mentioned star, only the subdirectories would have deleted. In this case, I have deleted the ACLs demo itself. Let me recreate it. Hadoop fs-mkdir and then user Cloudera ACLs demo. And now I will be setting ACL only for user ITversity to write into this directory. That we can say hadoop fs-set facl. It is same as what we have seen earlier with respect to file. We have to specify user. For user ITversity, I want to give read, write as well as execute permissions on the directory. And then the directory is nothing but user Cloudera ACLs demo. Now I can exit from Cloudera, and as user ITversity, I should be able to create file in it because user ITversity got access through ACLs. But if I switch to demo and if I try to run this command, it will fail because demo does not have access to this directory called ACLs demo to write anything into it. Okay, now you can exit from here and run hadoop fs-help set facl to get the documentation with respect to this command called set facl. We have been using -m to modify ACL. When it comes to setting ACLs, there is something called default also. So let's see the example with respect to default now. So here again I am switching to Cloudera, and then I am creating a subdirectory under user Cloudera ACLs demo by name subdir. Now if you run hadoop fs-get facl on user Cloudera ACLs demo with -r so that we can get the details recursively. You can see that the subdirectory have these properties. So with respect to user, we have read, write, execute. With respect to group, we have read, write, read and execute. With respect to other, we have read, execute. With respect to file testing ITversity, we have the same thing. With respect to user, read, write, execute. With the group, read, execute, and with other, read, execute. This is also a directory, but it is owned by ITversity. ITversity is the user who actually created this directory after granting ACL to ITversity by Cloudera. And the main directory user Cloudera ACLs demo is owned by Cloudera, and the group is Cloudera. Both the owner as well as user ITversity have read and execute permissions. Group and others have only read and execute permissions. Okay. Now, if we come out of this and go to demo and say Hadoop fs-ls -R user Cloudera ACLs demo, because the user demo have read permissions on ACLs demo as well as its subdirectories, he will be able to see the output on all the directories here. You can see under ACLs demo there is a subdirectory and then testing ITversity as well. And if you want, you can also access these subdirectories directly like this. As there are no files in those directories called subdirectory and testing underscore ITversity didn't return anything, otherwise it would have shown something as output. Now you can see that it returned without any failure, even though there are no files returned here. Okay. Now if I actually go to Cloudera and then set the default permissions, so we can still use set FACL with -m. When it comes to default, we have to say default and then colon, and then either you can say user or other or group. So in this case, I am saying other. If it is user, you can pass username. With others, I want to make sure it is default for all the others. And hence, without passing anything, we just have to say colon, which means for everyone. We want to give only read permissions without execute permissions. And I want to set this recursively on all the directories under user Cloudera ACLs demo and hit enter. On one file it failed because the testing ITversity is owned by ITversity. That's why it could not change the properties on this file or directory. Now we can actually say Hadoop fs-get FACL-R user Cloudera ACLs demo and hit enter. You see, with respect to subdirectory, the user have read, write, execute, the group have read and execute, and the others have read execute, read only permission. However, if you look at this, at the directory level, we have direct permissions for others for read and execute. Now let us see which one will take the precedence, whether the user will be able to access this location and see the details or not. Now I copied this, exit sudo su demo Hadoop fs-ls, paste it and hit enter. Still it did not fail. It returned with no issues. The reason is the default is set after the directory is created. Now by logging in as Cloudera, I'll be creating one more subdirectory. Let me exit from here, then sudo to Cloudera and then Hadoop fs-mkdir user Cloudera ACLs demo subdir2. This directory is created after setting the ACLs for the default, whereas subdir is created before it. Now first let us look at get FACL output. And let's focus on subdir2. Now you see the others got read only permissions. He did not get the execute permissions. So default is going forward. So since we have set the default to read-only permissions after creating the subdirectory, only subdirectory to see it in effect, whereas subdirectory which is already created, it will not have any effect. Now we can exit from here and then sudo to demo, and then let us try to see the contents of subdir2, and it will fail, saying that he does not have execute permissions on that directory. So far we are using -m with set of ACL and setting ACLs for a given user as per our requirements. However, we can also pass group, and we can actually grant at group level also. But either you can specify one user or one group when we want to set the ACLs. Also, we can set at default level. So these are the different combinations which we can use. However, if you want to set properties for multiple users on the same file, or users as well as groups on the same file or directory, then you can use --set. You can see the example here. In this case, on user Cloudera ACLs demo.txt, we are trying to give read and write permissions for the owner, read and write permissions for user ITversity as well as user demo. But for other users on the system, we are not giving any direct access except for the defaults. And also we are trying to set at a group level. For group, we are giving read-only access. For others also, we are giving read-only access. Like this, you can actually set ACLs for multiple users on a given file or directory using set command. A very, very important command if you want to override ACLs for multiple users in one shot. Okay, so you can try it out, and you can run getFACL to see the properties, and also you can actually try to write contents into that file as user demo and other users also, to make sure that demo also can write into that file, which was not the case earlier. As we have seen how to set ACLs on files and directories, now let us see how we can actually remove ACLs from files or directories using setFACL command itself.